day behind us, and we're all still here. That's a good thing. All right, let's see if you guys can hear me, see me, watch from my computer. Kind of trying to look underneath the camera here because the computer's behind it, because you know what's coming. All right, here comes my computer. All right, so I can see me. And Moderner, Baby McBean, Charlie, Jacob, Claudia, Krista Cat, Finley the dog. Okay, good. You guys can hear me and see me. All right. And of course, the first beep of the night, that's YouTube telling me that I'm live. Thanks. Like I didn't know that. So, all right. First off, I hope everybody heeded my warning on the video yesterday for all of this to avoid the scammers, because I got rid of 5 different ones and I must have really pissed them off, because when they came on, I happened to be going through comments. And so I was getting them 30 seconds after they posted their scam video, scam emails and stuff like that. But guys, just a reminder, never, ever, ever are you going to see, even though they're trying to spoof the @Pinball Preparedness and everything like that, try to make it look like it's me. I don't type in goofy letters. I rarely ever use emojis. And I'm not on WhatsApp or Telegram or anything. So anytime you see those, just ignore them. Don't get scammed. Okay, just report them to YouTube. Thank you for those of you that sent me emails on it, because I go in and report them and block them and everything. Somebody else sent me an email this evening about somebody on TikTok who has decided to copy my videos and put them up on their TikTok page as though they were them. So I've reported that to TikTok. It's like, okay, sorry, but you don't look like me. It's not going to happen. So, sorry. I put a lot of effort into this. I'll be damned if I'm going to let some dirtbags, steal my thunder, if you will, for all the effort that I put into this. So, all right. So looking at some interesting stuff that happened today. If you guys saw the asphalt factory that caught on fire today, just another one. Guess what that is? A petroleum product. Go figure. As we keep looking, and I know somebody will say, well, yeah, of course, the fires, petroleum products burn. Yeah, well, you know what? So does cardboard, so does paper, so does wood. It's funny how we don't see any of those going up. Everything that keeps burning happens to have something to do with oil. So I still stick to my domestic terrorism. Or eco-terrorism, or domestic eco-terrorism theory on all of this one. So that's that. Some of you guys watched the mid-morning video today on the January 6th hearings. I don't know if anybody saw the crying Chuck Schumer throwing a hissy fit this afternoon. Tucker Carlson is a sorry excuse for a newsman. I'm like, seriously, dude? There's the video. That is proof, that everything that your illustrious January 6th committee lied about, was, BS. But I get a kick out of it. It's like Chuck Schumer's out. Oh, this is all such a lie. Adam Kinzinger. Oh, this is all such a lie. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you guys have your tail between your legs, because your house of cards is about to come down, and all the lies that you've told for the last 2 years about everything that happened are now going to come back and bite you in the ass. It's not like Schumer's got any risk of losing his Senate seat unless another Democrat beats him, because, sorry, New York, no matter what happens, you keep putting Democrats in Congress, or at least in the Senate, and I'll put the blame squarely on New York City for that one. But, the rest of you, the rest of the state of New York, I'll get to deal with the idiots in New York City and their stupid decisions. It's like AOC. It's like bragging this week about kicking 25,000 jobs out of New York. It's like, look how good I did, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, the only reason you got elected is because you live in a district with people that are dumber than you are. And that's hard, But I mean, that seems to be the mantra to be a Democrat. You have to have an IQ under 60, and hell, if you got it under 40, you can be president. So, going on with that one. So those were the kind of the top things today. As you guys have noticed, and I noticed even from some of the other channels that I follow too, There hasn't been a whole lot going on this week, other than, I don't know, China increasing their military budget by 7% and the saber rattling by Kim Jong-un. I get a kick out of his sister coming up to North Korea, to his sister, threatening the West. I'm like, shut up, lady. You flinch and North Korea is a sheet of glass, okay? You're lucky if you can get a missile out over Japan. I mean, that's about it. It's like, okay, you do one little stupid thing and you're done. So, but talk tough. But, again, I'm part of the royal family or whatever the hell they want to consider themselves, the godlike people in North Korea. Yeah, sorry if you oppress the people long enough, one day they will get their revenge and the world will be rooting on the people. I don't think you're going to have a whole lot of supporters there for the Kim family in North Korea. So, all right. I know you guys want to get into the fun stuff. We always do. All right, so let me go through a couple of things here first. For those of you guys that are new, and we have a whole bunch of them here, you had to have entered on yesterday's video. That is the only way the entry counted. In that video, you had to put the state in which you live in, has to be one of the contiguous 48, and you had to put your favorite 80s band, whatever musical genre was fine. There were a couple of them people put in that I actually had to go look up because I'd never even heard of them. If I don't know, the other catch was they had to have released an album in the 80s, okay? And so if I, off the top of my head, don't know that they released an album in the 80s, I am going to go look to make sure it's a valid entry. So, because a couple of you guys put Christian artists or things like that I wasn't familiar with, and I went and looked and they were valid and stuff like that. I didn't check everybody. I will say it seems to me probably the number one favorite 80s band of those of you on this channel was Journey. I'd say that was probably the biggest, most common name that I saw. Other ones that would have been close, AC/DC, of course, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, and Van Halen, I think, would round out the top five. But Journey was pretty much overwhelmingly the favorite. I got a kick. There were a couple of, Men at Work was in there, the Go-Go's. It was primarily pop or rock. There were some country, a lot of Dolly Partons in there, a couple of John Denvers. I think I saw one Hank Williams Jr. But yeah, overall it was fun for me to read the comments. But that's part of the reason I do it, make you guys think and just enjoy. Also keep some of the riffraff out of here because they can't figure out what I asked. They have to go watch the video. So I will run everything through the random comment picker. We will pick a name. That person will have 3 minutes to reply in the comments that they are here. If they don't reply in 3 minutes, we will pick another name, and that has happened a few times. What I beg of all of you is when we go draw the name, which will happen here in a couple of minutes, please cease from making any comments in the comment section while we're waiting for that person. A couple of reasons why. There are almost 2,500 of you guys in here right now. There's one of me and my 5 or 6 moderators. That's it. So each one of us has got to look through these things and you guys know the comments sometimes can run like a slot machine. I've got it on 90 seconds delay, so that is always what we do because otherwise nobody can read anything. So realize this, if you've got 3 minutes and somebody says, I'm here, and none of us sees it, they've got to wait another 90 seconds till they can type in again, and their 3 minutes might expire. Okay. So please, to make it fair to everybody else who's watching and to make life a little easier for me and the moderators, please, when we flip over here, do not make any comments in the chat just so we can find the winner. And I say this because everybody here doesn't want them to be missed, because if we miss you, we miss you, and that's about it. So, all right. So if you guys remember what we're going for tonight, this is a Delta Mini, a River 2, and two 110 watt solar panels. So a nice little mini setup for lights, like I said, my security system, charging phone, charging computer, a CPAP, whatever would be. The mini will run a little bit more. Not going to run your refrigerator. It'll run a mini fridge, but it'll run some of your bare bones basics to get through. But you can find uses for this. And my little idea for my security, I think, was perfect because it's out of the way, it's done, it's passed through, uninterrupted power supply, UPS, works great. So whoever wins this, you'll have some fun figuring out some good uses for it. But any power is better than no power, especially when the power goes out and if worse comes to worse, you carry a light with you into the bathroom and you can brush your teeth and shave. Not that I have to do that. In the mirror, not in the dark. So, all right. Let me flip the computer over, and I'm going to flip the camera over. All right, let me blow this up so you guys can see what I'm doing. Not that much. That's pretty close. Okay, so I will walk you through what I did. Right here where my mouse is in the white box, that is the link to yesterday's video. That's the only place where things are coming from. We are, as I said to you guys, replies do not count. It must be a primary comment, so we are not including replies. We are filtering out duplicate users. You only get one entry per person. And if they changed anything else, nope, I'm not doing anything. All right, so I got to do my little math problem, and let's see how many people we got this time. So as we tick on along, all right, and like Mamie K said there right now, guys, please hold all your comments at this point. Last thing you want to do is get timed out for the comment, get your name drawn, and you got 300-second timeout. You aren't going to get a chance to win. So you can't say you're here if you're in timeout. Please hold all comments. All right. We have 2,824 comments. I don't think you guys can see that on the bottom. See if I can move that down. There it is. Okay, way on the bottom. 2824, that's what we got. I got to readjust my camera again. All right, so we are going to pick a winner. So everybody, hang tight. Here we go. And the name we pick is Bill Butner. We live in Iowa. The band would be AC/DC. Yeah, I can tell you AC/DC cut an album in 1980. I can probably name every one of them. All right, so Bill, let's see if you are here. We are looking for Bill Butner. It is 8:12. Bill, you have until 8:15 to announce your presence. So let me flip this over, readjust the camera. Bill Butner. Bill Butner says, I am here. There we go. I can see his name. All right, Bill. Congratulations. You just won yourself a Delta Mini, a River 2, and a couple of solar panels. So, good deal. What I need you to do is email me your physical address, not a P.O. box, because Elliot ships everything FedEx. So, physical address and phone number. If you can get that to me this evening, I will get it to him in the morning. He should probably have this out to you by the end of the week. So, my guess is you'll probably have this on your doorstep Monday, Tuesday of next week. So, congratulations, Bill. Guys, we do this enough, so I will tell you this. Polish up on your welcome back cotter. There you go, because there's your hint for the next contest, which is coming soon. All right, we are going to move this all around here so we can get into normal stuff and I can see what is going on. So bear with me while I rearrange. All right, so now I am back in one piece and I can read and see what's going on. So I think I'm going to do this a little different because you guys are the ones that show up to the live streams. So for the next contest, the next giveaway, which just in case you guys want to know, will be on Saturday, the next live stream. Like I said, polish up on your welcome back cotter. I'm not going to mention it in the review video. You're going to have watched this in order to know. Okay. For the entry on the next giveaway, which will be done on Saturday night, you are going to have to enter the name, your state, obviously, and your favorite sweat hog. Okay, that's it. And I'm not going to mention this anywhere else. So you guys know this. And if somebody else like, I don't know what the answer, they're going to have to go find the video. Okay. Because that's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to put it out in different parts because my reason for doing this, guys, just so you understand, is I'm trying to keep out the people that are just serial contest entries. That want to win something, never watch the channel, go, hey, cool, I won something, and they're out of here and never come back. And we've had a couple of them because I've never seen the names after they won contests again. So that's why we're going there. So I'm going to do it differently. So it's also why I have these subscribers only on the chat because that way they got to at least subscribe. I could do it worse. I could make it must be subscribed for 30 days or something, but I don't want to do that. So, all right. Let's get into normal, copper, somebody said there. No, not my dog's names. God. All right, let's get into normal deals here with all of this. Again, Saturdays and Tuesdays, guys, is Q&A. This is your chance to ask your questions. I'll give you the answers as best I got them. Sometimes they're opinions, sometimes they're fact, but you ask, I'll give you what I got. I don't have all the answers. I tell you that right now. Please pay attention in the comments because if I don't know, somebody else probably does. That's kind of the reason why we are all one big family, because somebody's going to have the answer. God knows, I come to ask you guys. I mean, between all the solar questions I had Princeton come out today and help me, give me the final answers for what I need with it. I mean, this is what we do. We help each other, and it was nice that he came out here to help me figure out exactly what I need, answered the last question I had, gave me his opinion, confirmed some information I had. That was good, so thank you. What I do ask, okay, like every other YouTube channel, if you got a question for me, please put it in all caps. There's still 2,200 of you guys here. That way I can see the questions. It makes it move on a little faster. And the other thing that I demand is that we treat everybody with respect, okay? Difference of opinion is fine, but if you get rude, you get obnoxious, you start name calling, stuff like that to anybody else in here or to me, you're out of here. Simple as that. And I said, okay, guys, time out. The entry for the contest is not here, all right? I'm just giving you a heads up. You will have to enter on the video when I do the review. It's not here, all right? So everybody that's typing in all their stuff here, doesn't matter, okay? I'm not pulling the contest out of here. I'm just telling you, so when you see that video, you know to put North Carolina and the second part of the question that I told you, the favorite sweat hog, okay? Because I'm not going to mention that video. But the entry, I'm not pulling entries out of the live stream here, guys. It's going to be off the video later this week. Okay. All right, I'll wait for everybody to stop putting all the welcome back Cotter stuff in here. Okay, guys, done with the welcome back Cotter. None of this matters, okay? Everything you're typing in, you're just wasting your time because it does not matter. That's not an entry. I'll just wait. Stop. Are we slowing down? Stop. Okay. All right, so we're going to get into questions here. If I can find them throughout all the other stuff. All right. Ashley Anderson question, how to best vet a financial advisor. That you're going to have to ask, you're going to have to find out what makes them tick, and you're going to have to use a little bit of creativeness. What you don't want is a salesman, Okay, you want somebody that's going to spend the time asking you questions. What matters to you? Not somebody that comes in and says, "I've got this cookie cutter thing. Everything I do is annuities, or everything I do is managed money, or everything I do is in mutual funds." No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, it they should be working for you. They are. I mean, they're required to. That's the law. Okay, that they are required to work in your best interest, not in theirs. If you're like, no, I'm not a stock trader, the guy should say, well, that's what I do. I'm not the right broker for you. That's it. He shouldn't be going, well, for you, I can do something different. No, because that's not what he does. All right. You need to find somebody that's got similar thought process to you. Ask them what they think about ESG. Don't tip your hand as to which way you lead. So what do you think about all this ESG stuff? Is it a good idea or a bad idea? Something like that. What are your thoughts on gold and silver? What are your thoughts on what the Fed's doing right now with the Treasury, with interest rates? And if their answers align with you, you're okay. If their answers don't, you can be done. But they should be asking you everything from what you want to invest for. Are you trying to buy a new house? Are you saving for retirement? Are you trying to start a business? What is it going to be? Your risk tolerances. I mean, that initial meeting should be a couple hours long minimum, right? Lots of questions. And then some of it's going to come to gut. Do you feel comfortable with the person? If they look like, if they look like Gavin Newsom, with the slick back hair and all sorts of shady, run. Rocky Acres Farm, any suggestion on what to do with a taxable 401k before the crash? Well, if you work at the company still, you don't have a whole lot of options. Okay, you could move the money in. You can move the money into something more secure. All right. So again, you could be from the highest risk, where you're going to be looking at international small cap companies, down to the lowest risk, which obviously is going to be sitting in cash. Somewhere in there on your risk tolerance is what you're looking for. If you're worried about the equities, the stocks crashing, maybe you go into more treasury bonds. If you're worried about the treasury bond market crashing, go into cash. Some 401ks, not many, have a gold and silver option. Okay, not that you're going to get the physical. You're still buying paper, gold and silver there. You could go that way. So you saw gold and silver took a dump today because I guess the Perth Mint, Australia, got busted for selling the Chinese gold-plated tungsten. That's good. That's the Mint of Australia is committing fraud, selling fraudulent gold to another nation. That's not smart. Okay. Your other option, and this is again maybe not available to you if you still work for the company, you can take a loan against your 401k and just not pay it back. It's taxable, okay, but that is a way to take a distribution on your 401k without being 59.5. If you are no longer with the company, then you can roll it over into an IRA, and then you can put it into whatever you want. Or again, you can take a distribution early. You're going to pay taxes and penalties on it. So, Rural Internet Prepper, thank you for the super chat. If given the choice, do I prefer freeze drying or dehydrating my foods? Well, considering the only option I have is freeze drying, because I don't have a dehydrator, because that's my option. Both of them are good. I mean, there's no question. What you're going to do with it, but freeze drying. I don't know. I've eaten freeze dried food. I've never freeze dried it myself, so I can't say. I mean, I know people think the harvest rate is great. I'm not coming up with $4,000 for it. Sorry, not going to happen. I can spend $4,000 in solar or something like that. That's a better place for me to spend my money. But dehydrating works perfectly well for me, and for a couple $100 for a dehydrator for a good one, that works fine. Let's see what we've got here too. Moonlight Gardener, thank you as well. Do I think anything will come of what Tucker is revealing, like the political prisoners being released. I kind of talked about that at lunch. It's gonna really cause some problems in Washington. You're already seeing Schumer scrambling. They're trying to discredit Tucker, Adam Kinzinger. I mean, good luck trying to discredit Tucker Carlson. It ain't going to happen. All right, Tucker's about as close as you're going to get to the next coming of Rush Limbaugh. You know, where he has a following that is not going to disappear, and more people are listening to him. I mean, there's a good reason why he's the number one show on all the cable news channels over and over and over again. It's because he does the work that nobody else will do. He's not there reading tweets, you know, or quoting Brett Baer or Sean Hannity or something like that, you know, like they'll do on CNN. They just had the perpetual circle jerk over there. It's like Don Lemon going, oh, Anderson Cooper said this, and Anderson Cooper going, oh, look, Don Lemon said this, or Brian Stetler when he was there said this, you know. Who cares? You know, Tucker's actually getting out and doing the work. Why do you think Kevin McCarthy gave the 41,000 hours of tape to Tucker Carlson and not to Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham or anybody else? Because he knew Tucker was the one that was going to bust the story wide open. Okay. And that's what he's doing. And it's scaring the crap out of the left right now because they're getting called on the crimes they committed. So, will it get any of the political prisoners released? Well, if you saw what happened this afternoon, all of them who have trials, there was one that's got a trial scheduled for 2 weeks, for the 23rd, so that's less than 2 weeks from now. They're all asking for extensions on their trials because their attorneys need time to go over all this new evidence that's just been released, and they want to go. These people all want to be able to go through 41,000 hours of tape and find out where they were, so they can prove that what they're being accused of they didn't do. This is something that is going to destroy the left's narrative for the last 2 years, and if the Republicans don't seize on this like crazy for the next election and just over and over and over drill into everybody's head, Congress, Senate, President, everything like that. They lied. Here's the proof. Here's the proof. Here's the proof. Here's the proof. If they don't do that, they're foolish. That right now, if any Democrat wins an election in 2024, their constituency is full of idiots, because you can't tell me that it's January 6th stuff, the economy, inflation. They're saying something like 20 million more jobs after 2 million more jobs. My bad, got one too many zeros there. After Powell's deal speech today, okay, 2 million more jobs will probably be on the chopping block this year because of the Fed raising interest rates. So, you know, let's talk about China, let's talk about Ukraine. I mean, pick one. Name one success that this administration has. You can't. There aren't any. Even the nominee for the FCC that they've been trying to run through for a year and a half today finally pulled her name from consideration today, because even a couple of Democrats are now saying they won't vote to confirm her. Why? Because she's a political hack. So, yeah, 2024 should be a slaughter, just for the fact that the Democrats have to defend like 16 seats in states that Trump won, and the Republicans have to defend none that Biden won. So we should almost certainly see the Senate flip. The House will continue to grow. But the big thing is you got to get, you know, Mr. Bacon Bits and Cheese out of the White House. All right, long answer to that question. We got two. Shannon Cook, do we post it tonight or Saturday night? Neither. You'll post it on the video when I release the review on it. It'll be on that video. How big would I let peppers get before up potting? Okay, if you're doing them in the little seed tray. If you're doing them in these things, okay, the little 2x2 seeds, You're going to want to pot them up once you have two sets of true leaves. You'll have the codlin leaves, the first ones that come out. Okay, those don't count. You'll have first set of true leaves, and you'll have a second set of true leaves. So when you have 6 leaves, okay, 4 true leaves, 2 are codlin leaves. When you've got 2 sets, then you want to pot those up to something the size of a solo cup. And then you should be able to let them grow in that solo cup until it's time to put them outside. And that pretty much goes for anything that you're growing, whether it's tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, squash, whatever, cucumbers, doesn't matter. That's pretty much the rule. 2 sets of codlin leaves, that's when you up pot to something bigger. If you've got something real big, like you're gonna start pumpkins, which I would not advise doing, start pumpkins in bigger plants. Chances are, or bigger pots. Your squash potentially as well, because those plants get huge. Okay, I gotta go through all of this. Hang on. Following instructions. PJ Shankles, can you plant leggy broccoli and cabbage? Yes, you can. Tomatoes are easy because they'll root from everything like that. Just plant them a little deeper. If you've got real leggy ones, you're not going to be happy. You can get them a little deeper down to that first leaf. But yeah, you can plant them. You hope they will recover. The problem that you're going to get is because they're so weak and spindly like that, you get a strong wind, they're going to blow over, they hit the ground, they're dead. You get a hard rain, they're going to knock over, they're dead. That's why you want to have those short, stocky plants, because they can handle the wind, they can handle the rain, everything like that. You can try it, but your success is going to be limited. Quo vadis, what about the giving authority to the WHO, losing our sovereignty? I have debunked that in so many freaking videos already. We are not losing our sovereignty. We are not giving the only authority we are giving to the WHO is that they get to make the decisions on whether we mask, whether we lock down or whatever. They are not binding. They are not enforceable. Whatever it is, it's no different than the CDC coming out and saying everybody has to wear a mask, and you go, F you, I'm not doing it, okay? They're not going to send UN troops to your house and say, oh my God, you didn't have a mask on when you pumped gas this morning, you're under arrest. It's been blown way out of proportion by too much in social media. We are not losing our sovereignty. The WHO is not going to be a world government or anything like that. That is completely blown out of proportion. And I'm going to leave it at that. So I've already done a couple of videos with all the details on it. You can go back and watch those. Heidi Mullis, what's the best grain grinder, hand crank? You're going to have to ask somebody else. I did a video on them, oh my God, 1.5 years ago on ones that I borrowed from Mr. and Mrs. Mountaintop Preps to show you guys, and I don't remember what the name of the grain grinder was. So I don't have one. If I need to borrow one, I know who's got it. So that's it. Again, like I said, in your mag, not everybody needs to own everything. How many grain grinders does your mag need? One? Okay. If they've got one, I don't need to have it. If I've got something, they don't need to have it. No need to duplicate and triplicate and quadruplicate efforts on everything. Sure, I understand backups to backups. We've got those. They've got those. Okay. They're also the ones that have all the wheat berries. That's perfect. Okay. DeKraken, am I going grid tied with a battery backup? Okay, you're going to get into technical terms that what I'm assuming you're guessing is yes. I'm staying on the grid. Okay, not a problem there. I'm doing the 2 EcoFlow Delta 2 or Delta Pros with the smart panel, which gives me 10 circuits that I can hook up. So it'll be like my water heater, my water pump. Those are the 2 main things. Some lights in the house. I got to talk to an electrician to see if it's possible to do anything with my HVAC system. But my goal is to hook up things for my battery backup system, which is for when the power goes out, obviously, whether it's just a power outage, a lightning strike, or God forbid, the end of the world. My goal for my backup system is to power the stuff that is hardwired into the house. I'm not doing power on that panel for like my refrigerators, for my freezers. That's what my portable generators are for. Okay, so I can expand my capacity that way, because I only get 10 circuits on my smart panel that I can do. Now, house has got what, 30? Now, some of them I don't know. I mean, I don't care if the circuit that my doorbell's on works. I mean, that doesn't make a lick of difference to me. But, you know, things like overhead lights, or, you know, something in, I don't know, maybe the dishwasher gets put on there. I mean, I don't know, those would be the luxuries. But my biggest concern is water pump and hot water heater. And I know everybody goes, what are you worried about the hot water heater for? Okay, if you want to take cold showers, go ahead. But one thing that's going to be crucial in an SHTF situation is keeping yourself clean. That's how you stay away from disease. Okay. I don't know about anybody else, but if I have the ability to take a hot shower, I'm doing that. Okay, guys, please don't email me during the live stream. It drives everybody nuts because it cuts me off for like 5 seconds. Holding on, do I know why your pepper leaves would be dropping leaves? Well, if it dropped the 2 codlin leaves, that's normal. If it drops true leaves, that's a different issue. Then at that point, you've got something going on. I'm going to ask this one because I'm hoping not. After they germinated, you did take them off heat mats, right? Because once they've germinated, you don't need to have them on heat mats anymore. That's when you're going to fry them. So if you left them on the heat mat, there's your problem. Otherwise, the other reason could be you have, if you put fertilizer in your potting mix, you've got too much fertilizer, it's too rich. I mean, somehow, some way you're burning those plants. You know, I doubt you're underwatering them, because at this time we're also babying our plants and everything. So, you know, the only other thing I think is overwatering them. Ashley, I already answered your question. Shirley Parker, does Mrs. P have any special recipes that she likes to can? I'm actually the canner in the house, and as I've said many times, I'm still learning all that. You know, where I go for how to do things is Lisa's channel over at Sutton's Days. Okay. The only thing that I will try to can my recipes, okay, and certainly like I did the stuffed peppers or something like that. And if I'm not sure if I can do it, I ask Lisa. That's my source. Yeah, I am not the person to ask about canning questions, guys. Sue Staley, I'm hearing Swiss Credit Suisse is what you mean. Credit Suisse Bank is collapsing. More to come. I talked about this the other day. Matter of fact, it was a specific video on Credit Suisse. So yeah, if we see Credit Suisse collapse, now you're talking about Chinese banks not giving foreign investors their money. Yes, this is going to happen. I mean, why do you think all these governments of the world are buying up gold and silver left and right? You know, an economic collapse is coming, guys. Everybody that goes, oh gee, it's just fear mongering. No, that's freaking reality. Okay. The world currencies, the fiat currency that we use, are devaluing constantly. Okay. You saw the dollar today. The dollar was up, $1.20 or something like that. Not that the value of the dollar got worse. That's how bad the other countries, the ones that are the dollar index is compared to, that's how fast the other currencies around the world are falling apart. And once the currencies start falling apart, then it's a domino effect, guys. Okay? If the Australian dollar collapses or the euro collapses, how long do you think it is until the yuan collapses or the dollar collapses? Weeks? Because all of a sudden, if euros are worth nothing, people are going to have to pay in something else. And they're going to go, okay, you know, I've got gold and silver, or beans and bullets, or whatever they decide is now a medium for trade. And we're going to be sitting here going, yeah, but I got all these dollars. They're going, I don't care. They don't, they're not, people don't want those here. They only want gold and silver. Oh, oops. Okay. It'll be a domino effect. Padraig Daughtry, place to purchase strawberry plants. Walmart, Home Depot, you know, anything like that. Yeah, I mean, those are just your box stores. Jennifer C., how do you combat squash bugs? If you're talking like vine borers or something like that, the best way to do it is, what vine borers do is they get right in at the stem at the ground level, and then they lay their eggs, and the eggs go through and eat it. Larva goes through and eats everything. Best way to do it, zucchinis, butternut squash, pumpkins, whatever it is. The base of the stem, right there at the ground level, wrap it in aluminum foil about 3 inches high. That will keep the bugs from getting, the vine borers from getting in, and you're done. Anything else, I'd say, use neem oil or something like that. If you're talking about a different kind of bug, neem oil or something like that, spray them, and you're going to have to get on the undersides of the leaves. But at least with squash, it's not hard to get on the underside of the leaves because they're big. There's just a lot of them. So, and they're on the ground. So, yeah, get used to bending over. But you're gardening, so get used to bending over. Scott Graham, how soon after pepper seed germinating until introducing any fertilizer? You shouldn't be introducing, if you made your soil mix like I did, which is 5 parts potting mix, 1 part perlite, vermiculite, whichever one you want to use, whichever one you need, and then, tablespoon or whatever it is, a pinch of fertilizer. You've got enough fertilizer for that plant to live its entire life in the seed starting germination room until it goes into the ground. You're not going to be fertilizing again until you put it in the ground, and then fertilize it according to either something that or if you have questions about it. I've sent hundreds of you guys my fertilization guide for everything that I grow, and I'm more than happy to. If you want it, email me. I'll just email you back the spreadsheet. Okay, shot to the bottom, so I got to get back to the top. A truck Campbell, do I own or like switchblades? No, I don't own any of them. Everything, I've got a K-bar, that's it, but a knife is, I don't ever see a situation where I'm going to be letting somebody get close enough to me that a knife is going to be a whole hell of a lot of use as a defensive weapon. If I let him get that close, then I've really screwed up. Chris Benfield, why not just start in a solo cup instead of potting? You can, okay? I'm just going to ask you one question. I hope you've got a whole ton of space, because that greenhouse that I built in the garage that's 12 by 4? It's full right now between lettuce, cabbage, peppers, flowers, yada. It's full of these things, end to end. And I still haven't planted 80% of what I've got, because I need to get those started while they're early, because then those can come out and they can be up potted into solo cups, which are going to take up a lot more space, and then sit outside or not have to be under the lamps to get them that strength, okay, so they can get some sunlight. You can start them in cups. I need to have, 40 by 20 seed starting setup to do it. That's the only reason why. And you're going to use a boatload more potting mix, which, even as cheap as I can make it, is still more expensive than putting it in the ground out in the yard. How big for the potatoes before repotting? You shouldn't ever repot your potatoes. Potatoes, once you plant your potatoes, that's where they stay and grow. You don't transplant potatoes. So if you did it otherwise, you should be, at a minimum, planting 1 potato in a 5-gallon bucket. That's at a minimum for a size of bucket to do. If you did it anything smaller, you're not getting anything. Simply Von, what do I think about Confucius Institute? I think they closed it. That's it. It's done. It's like, okay, not that I care. It's like, all right, fine, just like Josh Hawley's bill today he put up a bill in the House to ban the Chinese from owning any farmland. My personal opinion, get rid of everything that's owned by the Chinese in this country. Every single damn thing. Okay? Why we ever let communists buy, perform capitalism, communists performing a capitalist act in our country, I have no idea. Let me ask you this. How much property in China is owned by the United States? Oh, that would be zero. Okay. Let's see. Pam, thank you for the super sticker. Cheerleader, there you go. Yeah, I believe that I'm not, don't quote me on this. I know we don't, I think the Chinese law says that a foreigner can buy an apartment or maybe a house or something like that, but there's like 1,000,001 hoops that they've got to jump through. But we sure as hell don't own hundreds of thousands of acres of farmland in China. Let's see. Fastball 2611, with your pepper plants, do you prune them to get them growing larger and more peppers? I never have, okay? My peppers, I had so many freaking peppers last year. You remember me showing you the video on just one harvest, and I had half a kitchen table full of peppers. I don't prune them back or anything like that whatsoever. Let's see. Spectre, Pinball, how much money would it take you to shave your beard? More than you got. The only thing that's going to get me to shave my beard is if there's a chemical, if all of a sudden we go to war, and then I know that chemical weapons are, if we go to war, I'm expecting chemical weapons we use. If you see this gone, guys, it's time to worry. Tennessee Rebel, have I ever grown spaghetti squash? They're a great substitute for rice noodles. I'm not a super big fan of squash overall. I like some, okay? Don't get me wrong. I'll deal with some zucchini. I'll plant a couple of zucchini plants a year. That's it. Please don't give me 300 zucchini, okay? Don't go to church and leave the door unlocked. No, I'd just be pitching it out the car, throwing it in the parking lot, and people run over it. I'm not taking it home. I don't plant it because I don't eat it. It's just, I'm not a big fan of it. I already answered that. Warfox, should wheat berries be vacuum packed? I'd suggest that or dry canned for sure. Yeah, I would definitely do that. BP, even Mark Levin said the World Health Organization is posing a threat. They're posing a threat. Don't get me wrong. It's give them an inch, they're going to take them out. But we are not giving up our sovereignty. I'm done with this topic. Okay. Going hot. Need a radiation meter to tell you when to take iodine. Don't rely on government notification. You rely on government notification for anything, you're foolish. Okay, remember that this is the same government that told you the air was clean, fine to breathe after 9/11, or the water is good to drink in East Palestine. Okay, that's what the government tells you. If anybody that still thinks the government cares about them is smoking crack. Period. The only time that you are good to the government, 2 times: tax day and election day. The other 363 days of the year, they could give a rat's ass about you. KAS, any word on Keystone canned meats? I saw something on it briefly that there was something going on. I haven't paid attention to it. I forget who it was. Was it Lisa? Maybe it was Lisa that did it today. Maybe it was Prepper Now. Somebody did a video on it today. I didn't see it. I saw the thumbnail, but that was it. I haven't been paying attention to what's going on with them. Lazy Hiker, potatoes in storage sprout. When can I get them in the ground? They're russets. Yeah, I mean, mine are all sprouted too, and mine don't go in till April 15th here for my zone. It depends on your zone. I'm in 6B. I'm going to be April 15th. So if you're a higher number than 6B, sooner. If you're a lower number, later. So, da. Charles Coleman, when do I take straw off the garlic in Zone B? When do you put straw on garlic? I've never done that. Okay. Uh, I, yeah, whoever told you to put the straw on the garlic, that's who you need to ask to take the straw off the garlic because I never put it on it. Uh, Pinball, how do you keep security cameras that are outside tamper proof? Make them high enough they can't be reached. Okay. I mean, for me to get to my security cameras, I have to stand on something. Okay. A chair or whatever it is. And mind you, by the time I'm reaching, I'm at 9 feet plus. Okay. So my cameras are probably 11 feet off the ground. There ain't anybody that's getting close to that. And my cameras, at least the ones I've got now and the ones I plan on, the ones I've got now overlap, you know. So if they try to get one down, the other camera's getting them on camera. So easiest way to do it is just put them high enough they're out of reach. You know, now, does that mean somebody can't shoot them out? Sure, somebody can shoot them out, but I think I'm going to hear a gunshot, you know, or somebody trying to reach up and jump up and smash it with a baseball bat, you know. Yeah, they're not just going to stealthily go up there in the middle of the night and go, okay, we're going to turn this one off. Conspiracy Mama, I have no idea what you're asking, and I'm not even going to read it because it sounds pretty obnoxious. Let's see. Michael Eversberg, Pinball, I use rabbit manure in the garden, golden. I mean, probably the best thing you can use out there. Definitely P. Do I have to put my flower seedlings in under a grow light? No, I don't. I mean, a lot of them I could sow directly in the ground. You know, I could just sprinkle them on the ground. I could work them in with the rake or whatever it is. The reason we are starting them as seedlings is because we're trying to do the whole backyard, and I want to be able to place the flowers where I want the particular flower patches to go. I don't want them to get, with everything being clay back here right now, one good rain and it's going to wash flowers all over my flower seed all over my yard, and the next thing I know I got marigolds and daisies and everything like that growing in all sorts of weird positions, and I lost everything. I want to have it where I can put the flowers in the ground and start them there so I don't have them washed away. Remember, I'm on the side of a mountain. Penny Lauer, what made lace out if my... Okay, you're going to have to put that back in, that comment back up. It makes no sense. Let's see. Barbara Ernsberger, what is the best dehydrator? The one I've got is the Kosori, and a lot of you guys said that that's the best one you've used too. I did a review on this one a year ago, maybe. I think it was about a year ago. But yeah, I mean, that you can get cheaper ones on Amazon stuff. We used to have a cheaper one. Once I used this thing, I was like, comparatively, this thing was dehydrating whatever I had in there 1/5 the time of some of the cheap ones. So, Laura Story, are you worried about the digital currency and should we use our dollars to buy silver or goods? I've done countless videos on CBDC and what a disaster. I mean, the CBDC will be a failure. Mark my words, 100%. If they ever roll it out, which I don't think will happen. If they do, it will be a colossal failure. But if they ever roll it out, silver or goods, both, you need to have your money in hard assets. And we've talked about okay, you still got to pay taxes and you still got to pay your bills and stuff like that, but everything else should be in hard assets, whether it's land, whether it's silver and gold, whether it's beans and bullets. It doesn't matter, whatever you need. But yeah, they go to a digital currency. I mean, guys, you have to understand, digital currency is not about money. Digital currency is all about control. Oh, Mr. Pinball, you've already bought 5 gallons of gas this week. You're not allowed anymore. Oh, Mr. Pinball, you said something on YouTube we don't like. We're restricting you to go, that you can only go a mile from your house. How are they going to restrict me? Oh, your digital currency doesn't work after you're a mile away from your house. Oh, Mr. Pinball, we're just going to fine you $2,500 because we didn't like what you said. Ever heard of PayPal? Oh, okay. Oh, Mr. Pinball, you didn't do anything with your money in 3 months. Therefore, it expires. That's the deal. It's control. It's not money. Like I said in a video the other day, you get $1,000 a month. You're required to spend $100 a month on groceries. You're required to spend $100 a month on entertainment. You're required to spend $50 a month on gas. They're going to tell you how to live your life. It's all about control. It has nothing to do with money or currency. It has everything to do with control. It will fail. If they roll out CBDC in the United States, I guarantee you we have a civil war. That's it, okay? Because there's no way in the world the majority of this country is going to accept having their most basic freedom taken away from them. And it's 4 minutes to 9. Okay, let's see, we've already done that one. Somebody said, what's my favorite grow light? It doesn't matter as long as it's got the right lumens and Kelvin, you're fine. BP, did I hear Discover Card is going to start tracking firearm purchases? Yes, I did. Okay. Again, if you're buying a gun, unless of course you got to buy it online, which I've had to do that a couple of times, you should be buying it in cash anyway, to restrict as much tracking as you can. And all Discover Card told everybody right there is, don't use a Discover Card when you go to the gun shop. It's like these companies don't get it. It's like, you think if somebody's got credit cards, the Discover Card's the only one they have? You think people are really financing guns? Probably not, okay? Gee, I want to go buy a gun. I'm going to put it on a credit card. I've got a Discover Card. They're going to track it. I've got a Visa card. They're not going to track it. Which one should I use? Okay. Gun owners aren't stupid people. Kevin, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Pam Fury says, I think CBDC is rolling out sooner than later. You may be right. I just don't. Everything, there's so much pushback against it. So many people that are, and states that are saying no. If they can roll it out all they want. I mean, they could say tomorrow that beans are currency. But again, as I've said many times, if nobody accepts it, it's worthless. Okay? You wouldn't catch me buying Bitcoin for my life. All right, and that's out, right? If I'm selling something to somebody and they say, how much Bitcoin do you want for it? There ain't enough Bitcoin in the world. You're going to give me something that's real, something that's physical. Do not give me any of this imaginary money. I won't accept it. So to me, you can say, oh, Bitcoin's $24,000 a Bitcoin. To me, it's worth zero. I won't accept it. Beans, I'm rich. Yeah, there you go. Florida Mama Bear, unbelievable how fast hours fly by. Thanks for tell me about it. I looked down at the clock. What was it, the other day? I looked down, it's like, holy crap, it is 10 o'clock. First time I look, it's 4 minutes till. Let's see if we got anything else going on here. Whoops, that's all the way to the bottom. Let's see if I can catch something else. I'm going up here. That was way at the bottom. Aaron MH, Arkansas is looking at digital driver's licenses. I've seen that. I've seen digital license plates, everything like that. Here's my question. I mean, I'm going to walk into the DMV and go, I'm sorry, I don't have a cell phone. Are you buying me a cell phone? Well, no, you have to have one. No, I don't. You can't force me to own a cell phone. Okay? I just tell them I don't have one. You want to, tell you what, Give me $1,000 and I'll get my driver's license on a cell phone. Because I got to go buy a cell phone. That's it. They can try to force everything. If you're compliant, it works. Okay? But stop and think. Everything they are doing assumes you work on a cell phone. There's a lot of people that don't have them. Okay? You know, people, oh, it's too difficult for somebody to get voter ID. It's so difficult. But we want to put the digital, but you've got a cell phone, right? You can have $1,000 cell phone, but it's too difficult for you to get to somewhere to get your voter ID, to get identification, right? You know, it's kind of like that story I told you guys this morning. 25 years old and you can't be charged with felony murder because your brain hasn't developed enough. And what you're telling me right there is that until you're 25 years old, you're not mentally capable of making a decision to have genital mutilation surgery and change your gender, right? That's my point. There's two sides to every story. They keep forgetting that one. Have a good one, guys. Pinball out.